Hello, my name is Christine Leeper, and I am doing the assignment for Cognitive Assessment Phase 2. Forgive my attire, I have been very sick, so please excuse that. So I will be playing a role as the counselor for Jane, being her counselor and explaining her score that she received. Hello, I have received your results and I have a copy of the results for you, and I would like to go over these with you. If you have any questions, feel free to please stop me and we can go over that. If it's something that we can wait till the end, I'll absolutely answer questions then as well. If we would start and look at the Verbal Comprehensive Index, this is the first score, the VCI, and she scored a 104. This is a good score. The score shows that she is in average range. She is actually approximately 61% above her peers. And what the VCI, the Verbal Comprehension Index, measures is verbal reasoning and the concept formation. So there really is no concern for Jane in this area at this point. So I'd feel okay and comfortable with that. Moving on to her Perceptual Reasoning Index, which is the PRI. She scored a 102, a little bit less than the VCI, but again, there isn't really a big concern here. This is another good score, showing an average score. She's approximately 55% above her peers. However, there was something that during her PRI subtest, she showed a little bit less equally developed than the VCI, which is okay. And really what the PRI is designed for is to measure the nonverbal formation, the visual perception and organization. She is average, so there really, again, no concern in this area. So we can kind of move on from there in regards to whether or not this is where she is showing the academic problems. I am going to skip the working memory part at this moment. I want to go to the processing speed index, the PSI, because she did, this is the next subject that she scored higher in. The working memory will come back. She did score lower than this, so I just want to talk about the PSI for a moment. She scored a 91. Again, it's still in the average range. It's not as high. She did only show approximately 27% above her peers. Again, that's okay. Really no big concern there yet. However, everything does tie together, so we do want to make sure that we are watching these things. The PSI measures the speed of how fast Jane processes visual information, visual material quickly. And her score does suggest that there is some weaknesses in the simple visual scanning. However, the visual scanning and tracking, however, she does do well. What we want to really focus on, though, is that it might take her a lot more mentally to understand new information. So she might be a little bit more drained when she's processing these complex tasks, and that that might leave her a little less time. So we might want to focus on giving her that extra time, or making her feel comfortable when she has to do these things, like an academic task. So I did want to save the working memory index for last, the WMI, because this is where she scored the lowest. This is actually where she scored below average. So this is the concern that we do want to discuss here. So we understand memory. So the working memory index really focuses on how she remembers things, how she works things together, puts information together, things like that. She didn't score terribly. She is below average, but she did score approximately 18% above her peers. so that is, you know, a positive to look at, though it's not extremely high. I don't want you to feel that she, you know, she can't remember anything. But her ability to sustain attention and concentrate and exert the mental control does show a significant weakness. Um, Again, and this can, you know, be very mentally draining for Jane. So this is something that we will want to work on. You know, but Jane does show strengths. She's a very bright young girl. She does come from a very good family, so we don't have any cause for concerns really with environment. She shows those strengths in verbal comprehension as well as the perceptual reasoning process, so that is good. But again, weakness, she does need improvement in the working memory. So going further from here, I would really recommend exercising her working memory. Jane needs to be on a regular basis, very frequently doing activities that, you know, stimulate her memory. And we can come and I can talk to you about different activities, such as chunking would be one. This is where, like, say you want her to remember her phone number instead of you know, area code 603, since your number 603 123 5567, you'd want to say 603 12 3, and then the last four digits would be 55 and 63, or however, you know, want to work it. This, I mean, this is really something that she could benefit from, is chunking, and I've seen it work a lot in cases like Jane. That's one area to consider. But, you know, asking her questions, you know, what did you do today? How are you doing? What are we, you know, just asking her those questions to really stimulate her memory, get it going, and she can consistently work on that, which I feel would be really beneficial for her. Excuse me. So really, and this is something that you can work on with her teachers as well. And just when doing homework, given the fact that, you know, she does need a little bit more time processing those complex informations can be a little bit mentally draining. I would just really focus more on the completion of the homework and quality. I wouldn't really want to overemphasize on, you know, how important it is to get high grades. You know, putting pressure on her could potentially make it a little bit harder for her, again, with the working memory and the other areas. I don't see any severe concerns for you to worry about, so this is really good. But, you know, just taking those times to do those working memory activities would be really beneficial for Jane at this time. I invite you to ask me any questions that you might have. We can go over that. And we can also go forward in speaking with the teachers as well. All right. So I hope that this gives some light on the subject and on how Jane is doing academically and why she is struggling in those areas. So this concludes assignment for Cognitive Assessment Phase 2.